Bears game, plus all the action around the NFL. Sports Sunday with Mark Giangreco and the Bears' Steve McMichael.
Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Sports Sunday. Well, it wasn't pretty, but the Bears will take it, sending the lip-flapping Falcons back to Atlanta as losers tonight. Mike Ditka's crew winning the war of words, and more importantly, the war.
It was the first half dominated by Richard Dent, the Colonel wreaking havoc, recovering a fumble, batting away a pass, and getting the first of 2 sacks on the afternoon. Richard, you're a lock for NFC Defensive Player of the Week already, don't you think?
That's all right. I like to go for bigger strides than that. Is more than anything to me is getting to the Super Bowl. I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older. So.
Then tied at 3 in the second quarter, Neil Anderson, who was shut down by the Atlanta defense and yet another injury, managed somehow to fly around the right side for the touchdown to make it 10-3 Bears.
It feels good at first when teams start to concentrate on you and give you that much respect, you know. But then after it happens week after week after week, it gets old, you know, because it makes it awfully tough. I'm averaging an injury per week, so.
Was it left hamstring?
Left hamstring.
Lemuel Stinson backed up his end of this week's trash talk. Lemonhead with 2 interceptions. This one setting up the Bears' second score. Late in the second quarter, the forgotten man in the Bears' offense suddenly started turning in plays to remember. Shelved by a hamstring injury of his own, Davis finally got to be the featured receiver and responded with a spectacular outstretched snag for the touchdown. 17-3 Bears.
Well, I wasn't forgotten. I was hurt. You know, being hurt, and you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So I had to reestablish myself and gain the confidence back in me, and also gain the confidence of the quarterbacks. And I think it's finally come around for me.
Then in the third quarter, Jim Harbaugh goes to Wendell again, this time bumping and banging downfield 51 yards with another great grab to the 7.
I had to fight for it a lot, and I just kept my concentration, kept my eye on the ball, and caught the football.
Brad Mustard capped off the drive with this little leap to make it 24-3. The Falcons came back to make it 24-10, but Dent decided to crush Chris Miller again, turning in an all-pro MVP day. What did I tell you yesterday?
You told me I would have a big game. It's just something I already knew anyway, but...
Opening moments of the fourth quarter, Harbaugh really took a shot on the sidelines and had to leave early.
It's the sternum and my lat in the back, so it's I got the lat last week against Tampa Bay and the sternum against Phoenix, and took some real tough shots again today in the second half, and it was really getting tight on me toward the fourth quarter, and then when I got hit, that was it. So, but unfortunately, nothing popped.
Stinson then snuffed out an Atlanta drive with his second INT. The Bears with 4 picks on the day.
I said 4, huh? I'm glad I said 4.
You said at least 2.
Send that 4. Send them 4 over there to Dion. He need them.
But it was Vesty Jackson who got the one to ice it, picking off a Dent tip and streaking to the end zone, winning his personal battle with cousin Andre Rison.
Fell on my hands. It was just open field, so I just took it and ran with it. Oh, we definitely got the family bragging rights. I can't wait to get out there now so I can go out there and harass them and give them a hard time. But definitely got the bragging rights on Andre.
So the World Wrestling Federation grudge cage match ends. Ditka's guys 30, bad guys 24.
I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'm going to do it anyways. This is a very special day for me because we did win. We won the championship belt buckle.
Warriors next. Now, you know, the Falcons were talking trash all week long. They were talking all through the game. And afterward, too, Tom Scher got an earful.
Unknown cornerback from Chicago Bears needed some publicity to boost himself up.
So Neon Deion was not impressed, but neither were Lemuel Stinson and the rest of the Bears. They gave primetime no slack. Every time Sanders touched the ball, they may have heard echoes of Sanders and Andre Rison taunting Stinson and the rest of the team.
I never heard of the guy before. Oh, he's a scrub. He's a scrub? I'm coming for you, cuz. Man to man. We got him one-on-one. Me and you, Steve.
Of course, their bark was worse than their bite, and these two truly did have a dog day afternoon. When the game was on the line, Rison had just a few catches, totaling a mere 36 yards.
Yeah, they played good. They played good together as a group, but then I predicted that if he played man-to-man, not zone all day.
So you think they took the easy way out of that, what you're saying?
As far as his own coach, I mean, they're out to win the game. They're not out just to stop me.
But the fact is, after they said Stinson would do nothing, his pair of interceptions said plenty, as did his overall hard-nosed play.
He got what he wanted out of the deal. Everybody knows him now, and
you know, try to make us look bad, and I really don't appreciate that.
It would seem he got some notice with his play today, though, the interception.
He got gifts. They threw him some gifts out there, you know.
But later, Sanders did give his due to the Bears receivers whom he had to cover. He had described them as a sorry bunch of no talents.
They're a good bunch of receivers. You know, Wendell is the leader of all the 3 or 4. They're a good bunch of guys, and they're going to be better and better as time goes on.
Not surprisingly, it didn't take long for Jerry Glanville's Falcons to build on their dubious distinction of being the dirtiest team in the NFL. Just before halftime, Atlanta's Sean Collins went after Kevin Butler, but Butthead took him down by taking a page out of the pro wrestling handbook. Going after the kicker didn't bother the man in black.
I didn't even notice that somebody did. Isn't that special? Do they have on a uniform? Yeah. You hit people in uniforms.
And Glanville was equally unrepentant concerning a fight in the third quarter when one of his players was thrown out for coming off the bench to join the mayhem. The coach took off on referee Jim Tunney.
I asked the guy that made that decision what he did for a living, what he does Monday through Friday. He told me he was a school administrator. I told him I'd pull my son out of the school. They can't make decisions.
But the most controversial incident came later. Stinson charged that Sanders cheap-shotted him in the closing minutes of the game.
He hit me from the back. And I turned up. When I looked up, I was on the ground. I looked up, that was him on top of me. I'm trying to get up. He's trying to hold my face mask down, talking about he can get some.
I was going for the ball, and whoever was in my way, which happened to be him, I was going through. So, prime time don't cheap shots anybody. I play within the rules.
He's probably not the sorriest defensive back, but he has no class at all.
A little while ago, he said I didn't have any courage. Didn't he, last week? Now I'm the dirtiest cornerback.
Is that it
now, or are you going to go looking for D?
I got more class than that. I mean, if I'm a professional athlete, and I think I should go home and hug my wife, because I got a wife and a little kid at home, and I want him to do the same thing.
I have no comment on that, sir.
Very good. It's about time someone decided to clam up. Tom Scher, Channel 5 Sports.
When was the last time anybody called Tom Sir?
Sir?
Yeah, it's good to have you back on the set. You've been on remote.
Been a few weeks.
Yeah, so a lot of talk. Talk is cheap. The game is over. What do you think about all that stuff leading up to the game and everything?
I'm from the old school. Anytime you have to talk and pump your own self up, you're not much of a person.
You know, it's too bad. He's a great football player, Deion Sanders, and Rison's not too shabby either.
When other people talk about you and pump you up, that you're somebody to be reckoned with, but when you have to do it yourself, it kind of lessens the thought.
And, of course, as Mike Ditka says, we pump people up to tear them down, meaning the media.
Well,
you don't
deserve everything it gives you.
All right, well, we'll have more from Ming, including this week's Beautiful Human Being Award when Sports Sunday continues. Stay with us.
Undoubtedly.
Your local Ford dealer, Phillips 66, and the Illinois Bell are participating sponsors of the channel.
If you're serious about trucks, get serious about Ford Ranger, because Ford Ranger offers you a proven truck suspension. It also offers you more horsepower, more torque, and more cargo space than even Chevy, all for a lower price. And now get up to $1,500 cash back. $1,500 cash back. You can own a new 1991 Ford Ranger XLT for only $7,608, and that's before you make your best deal. So see your Ford dealer today.
Well, it all started after my car here began to act up on me. It'd spit and sputter. It was hard to start. A buddy of mine suggested that I fill up with super clean unleaded gasoline from Phillips 66. I did, and it worked. Now it starts right, and it runs right. The problem wasn't my new car. It was my old gasoline.
Good things for cars and the people who drive them. Now it's your dream. Now it's your time. Your name's on the door and your heart's on the line.
Before you go into business, call the small business experts at Illinois Bell for our Meritech Custom Business Service. We have the phones and features you need to get started.
Day by day you're gonna make it. Find a way out on your own. You're not alone.
Go into business with Illinois Bell.
Nobody likes to know it all like a sports fan, and that's why there's The National Sports Daily.
If you like sports, it's a paper to buy.
All the stats, all the facts, figures.
All the inside stories.
All of everything. Total sports coverage.
The big picture, the National gives you the gigantic picture.
So when you put down your local sports section, pick up The National, where sports is front page news.
I live by it. Religiously, I do.
I read it every day.
Every day of the week.
The National, changing the way America reads sports.
Every day.
Back on Sports Sunday with Steve McMichael, you've got some tough decisions to make. Everybody played well today. Wendell Davis, the man's back from injury, and Harbaugh said he wanted Wendell to get the ball, and he got the ball.
Outstanding the way he came through today with those little touch passes.
Nice, huh?
He was wonderful.
That was a 27-yarder. He had a 51-yarder, and
look at this thing here, though.
This is the catch.
That's highlight film.
5 catches, 105 yards. That was fantastic. Now, as for Jim Harbaugh, 6 carries, 47 yards. The fact that he could run up the middle so much, is that because Atlanta really over-pursues on defense?
I don't know much about offense, but I know their defense was stacking that line of scrimmage. It was hard to run on them, so they had to go to the pass,
Yeah. Let me ask you this. When you're not playing, do you actually watch? I mean, do you really pay attention to all the intricacies of the offensive line out there or whatever? You just go back and suck some oxygen, get a drink, and sit down.
Well, I like that oxygen, baby.
You'll be in Denver next week.
Oh.
Well, you'll be on that mask all day.
I'm going to get a 10 out there.
Now, when Mike Tomczak came into the game in relief of Harbaugh, Tomczak was greeted like an enemy quarterback, and Neil Anderson was quick to fire back at the folks in the stands.
This is my little hit at the fans here. I thought that was a very poor taste. The way as soon as Mike entered the game, that many people could boo. And I talked to him about it. I wouldn't want those people cheering for me that would boo him like that, because he's been working awfully hard, being a backup, but keeping his mind in the game and looking good. And then they would boo him as soon as he walked on the field. To me, that was no class at all.
Ooh, Neil sticking up for Tomczak.
Well,
how'd you feel about it?
I'd have to say bravo. These fans have a winning team in Chicago, and whatever player we choose to put out on the field, they should cheer for him.
I'll tell you what, he may have to start in Denver because Harbaugh is really banged.
Yeah, he hurt his clavicle a little bit. I think that's that little bone right there. He'd be all right. I don't think it's broken.
All right, well, we'll see. Now, Richard Dent turned in one incredible day. A couple of tips, a couple of sacks, a couple of everything.
He wins the award this week as the most beautiful person.
Oh, no, you're kidding, really?
Indubitably.
Well, I was up at Bear Camp yesterday.
He was magnificent.
And he said, please don't tell me I'm going to have a good game, because that always jinxes me, So, ladies and gentlemen, officially, the most beautiful man this week is Richard Dent.
Richard Dent. Oh,
very nice.
This is the first I've got to see of this.
Yeah, that's pretty. I like that better than your head sticking out of the airplane.
Maybe I might have to go platinum. That looks pretty good.
That's not bad at all. When we come back, the rest of the day in the NFL, including one of those beautiful days in Buffalo, New York. Stay with us.
2 years in New York, and he thinks he can tell us how to run things.
It's all right. I fix things. He's traveling overnight on the red eye.
Not first class.
Business class, of course. Company policy.
He'll be hungry and tired.
Club. British Airways business class delivers you ready for business.
Pleasant trip.
Yes, thank you.
Club class for the businessman, only from the world's favorite airline.
A performance story from Phillips 66. Subject, gasoline. Weather is constantly changing. From region to region, throughout the year. That's why at Phillips, we adjust our gasoline to change with it, so that your car will perform well, no matter what kind of weather's up ahead. Phillips 66. You'll find performance in everything we do.
Many cars have tried to ride the coattails of Ford Taurus, but most of them end up in the recycling bin. Because Taurus is the original value leader in family sedans. It offers you seating for 6, a powerful V6 engine, and unmistakable good looks, even an airbag. And right now your Ford dealer is offering you huge savings on Taurus, thousands of dollars in savings. So don't settle for a car that's worth more as scrap iron. Save thousands on a new Ford Taurus now, only at your local Ford dealer.
Now it's your dream. Now it's your time. Your name's on the door and your heart's on the line.
Before you go into business, call the small business experts at Illinois Bell. We have the phones and features that can save you up to $1,200 in that critical first year.
Day by day you're gonna make it. Find a way out on your own. You're not alone.
Go into business with Illinois Bell.
Week 10 of this NFL season, the AFC Central is sitting this one out. The Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Oilers. We're watching the Detroit Lions take on the Vikings. Andre Ware gets his start at quarterback. Ware goes back, fires right over the middle, and finds Joey Browner. Browner returns it back 28 yards to midfield. 2 interceptions for Ware, who really did not have a good afternoon at all. Andre then figures, I'll just tuck it in and run for a while. He tries to go around the right side, almost kills himself going out of bounds, and leaves his teammates very, very thirsty. You're only supposed to dump this stuff when you win. Bob Galliano came in, no better luck. He's picked off by Al Noga. Noga turns it back 26 yards for the touchdown. Not bad. The Vikings finally getting it together for a game. They beat Detroit by a final of 17-7. To the Meadowlands now. Miami's no-name defense is back. The play of the day here, Ken O'Brien picked off on the ricochet by Tim McKyer, the former 49er. Now he turns it back. The ball swatted out of his hands before he goes out of bounds. It's recovered back there by Johnny Hector. Now, the official on the field rules it's Miami ball. So they want to review it, and the guy upstairs in the replay booth says, no, it's Jet ball. And they go, okay, great. And so, I don't know, let me change that. The guy back on the field says, wait a minute, we were right the first time. We think it's Miami's ball now.
The play on the field was ruled. The player out of bounds. We had an inadvertent whistle.
Oh, the old
ball belongs to Miami. First down.
Oh, my. The old inadvertent whistle trick.
Yeah, it works every time. And Bruce Kozlitz says, no way. Dolphins win it 17-3. They keep on rolling. In New England, Jeff George getting kind of cocky, but he backed it up late in the game. 2:10 left. He fires a bullet, 26 yards to Billy Brooks. That's the game winner. Colts beat the Pats 13-10. And at Anaheim, yeah, it's about time, Jeff. New Dodger Darryl Strawberry cheering for the Giants. Rodney Hampton gets the call here and busts it out 19 yards for the touchdown. Giants in another cakewalk. They whipped the Rams 31-7, and they are still unbeaten. And here's the picture postcard from Buffalo. Cardinal punter Rich Camarillo having a great day. Look at this. The ball sticks in the sky and is blown backwards. Camarillo, who averages over 44 yards a punt, had 2 for 12 yards. Then off the play fake, Jim Kelly to Don Beebe. Kelly had 4 touchdown strikes. The Bills on a roll. They win 45-14 to keep pace with Miami. The Raiders in Green Bay, Marcus and Bo backfield watching the Magic Man go to work. 28 yards to Perry Kemp. Here's a Wendell Davis catch for you. And the Pack beats the Raiders 29-16. The Raiders have now lost 2 straight after that great start. Tampa Bay's Chris Chandler. Why does he have an eccentric headache? Well, after doing stuff like this, rolls out a triple 3.5 gainer into the end zone, but Ironhead Hayward was the man, 155 yards, including this 47-yard TD. He could have just walked right down the sidelines, but instead, he decides to pick somebody out and beat their brains out. And the Saints beat them 35-7. Chiefs' Derek Thomas had a field day today. Watch this. Pow! Dave Craig goes down. Dan Saliamua recovers for the touchdown, but don't celebrate too much. 4 seconds left. Craig goes 25 yards to Paul Scansey. Now, isn't that in the grasp or what? I don't know what that is. No, they call it a touchdown. It is. Marty Schottenheimer can't believe it. Seattle beats Kansas City 17-16. He doesn't want him celebrating too early yet. Tonight, San Francisco, Dallas. The only way to stop Jerry Rice, rip his head off. Isaac Holt, grab him by the face mask. That led to a touchdown. And then Joe Montana to Rice, an incredible grab here. That's just not fair. 49ers win again, 24-6. They're unbeaten. So, Bears win. New Orleans wins. Minnesota over Detroit. Green Bay downs the Raiders. Giants over the Rams. San Francisco beat Dallas. Buffalo, big time over Phoenix. Miami downs the Jets. Seattle over Kansas City. Indianapolis a 13-10 winner over New England. San Diego beat Denver. Washington, Philadelphia tomorrow night. Now in that Denver-San Diego game, John Elway having his problems with a bad foot, not too mobile at all. He was a sitting duck for the Chargers' Billy Ray Smith more than once. And when Elway did manage to get away, he was throwing ducks. Gil Byrd with 2 interceptions, including this one in the end zone, and decides to give it the celebration crawl. It was a tough year for old Mr. Ed, I'll tell you, in the Broncos. San Diego linebacker Gary Plummer doing a fridge in the backfield. Pounds this one in. Looks pretty good for a running back, but he needs a little bit of work on the spike. Chargers win at 19-7. The Bears go to Denver next week. The Broncos are 3-6. Are you guys ever going to lose another game? Undefeated. Super Bowl.
I don't want to talk
the
about
Giants
that
or the
right now.
Niners.
You know what I want to talk about?
What's in this bag?
In keeping with this animal kingdom thing I started with the little Chihuahua, I brought a little friend of mine up from deep down in Texas. No, he's
oh man,
he's a beautiful, he's a tough little thing to get a hold of too.
What is that?
This is the almost extinct South Texas spitting snake.
No.
Oh, he always does that. I got to take him back home.
I hope
I can never take him out.
I hope that is just spit. God. By the way, David Letterman called, and they wanted a tape of your greatest hits. Has anything come of that?
Oh, I don't want to talk about David Letterman.
He doesn't want to have you on the show, does he?
Who cares?
He's intimidated.
Who cares?
He has James Brown on. He has Wayne Cochran
I'm playing for the Chicago Bears, and we're 8-1, brother.
And that's all that matters, right?
That is living.
That is living. We'll be back with our Great Expectations segment in a minute. Tonight, a high school football powerhouse. That and more in a minute. Stay with us.
Mr. Morrison has just left his lights on. Mrs. Morrison is pregnant, very pregnant. So the Morrisons could be in trouble.
David, it's time.
Big trouble. Luckily, the Morrisons got a new Champion switch battery from Walmart for just $59.96.
The hood.
If it ever goes dead, just switch to the reserve and start your car. Switch back to recharge the main battery. The Champion switch battery from Walmart. Always the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
The Penobscot River and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Penobscot means hard-charging white water. Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. An Old Milwaukee beer.
Through that trough, we hit the top of the wave and slammed Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It just doesn't get any better than that.
You got that right.
The all-new 1991 Ford Escort. It's the only American-made car in its class. Averaging 41 miles per gallon, the new Escort is a leader in fuel efficiency. And right now, your Ford dealer will give you a $500 cash bonus on every new 1991 Ford Escort. $500 that you can even use as your down payment. Escort prices start at only $69.76. So if you're looking for a new car, get the American-made high-mileage Ford Escort and get a $500 cash bonus only at your local Ford dealer.
Smart businesses everywhere are discovering the post office. For dependable service and true value, there's Priority Mail with delivery in 2 days for $2.40. To keep dollars flowing and help the bottom line, there's Express Mail with delivery guaranteed next morning for just $8.75. For speed, reliability, and overall value, no one delivers for growing businesses like your post office.
We deliver for you.
We will?
Yeah.
Good. Back here on Sports Sunday. I was only half kidding, though. You could conceivably not lose another game. I'm putting the jinx on you right now. But look, you go to Denver, they're in disarray, right? Then you got Minnesota, Detroit, Washington. Close out with Kansas City, somebody else in there. But,
we're gonna be busy as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest the rest of the year, baby.
But riddle me this. Here's this scenario right here. You can beat San Francisco now because they have no running game, and their defense is playing a little soft. So, I
Can
don't.
anybody beat San Francisco?
I don't think you can beat the Giants, though.
No.
No. They're solid. They're solid.
That deserves
that's a nug. That's a nug. All right. Well, we have a feature here called Great Expectations, and I know you'll be interested in this. It's a series on education, and it continues tonight with a spotlight on a dominant high school football program that features players who grade out pretty well in the classroom, too. Here's Tom again.
This week's high five goes to the Mount Carmel High School football team. The Caravan have won back-to-back state championships, and after yesterday's victory over Simeon, are in the Final Four for another title. Coach Frank Lenti knows his players have talent, but gives equal credit for their success to togetherness and hard work.
You know, our philosophy here in the athletic area revolves around three key things. Number one, we want you to be the best person you can be. Number two, be the best student you can be. And then be the best athlete you can be. And kids being kids, they're always interested in taking care of being a good jock. We have to make sure that they're interested in being good students and good athletes, and first and foremost, being good people.
On the game-winning touchdown against Simeon, senior Ed Kavanaugh led the blocking for Bobby Sanders to score in the final 2.5 minutes. Besides being a starter on the Caravan offensive line, Ed, who enjoys English the most, is ranked third academically in the senior class.
It's hard to do. This is not much time. Football takes up a lot of time, but I get it done. You know, spend a lot of time on work. When you get home, not much time to do other things.
Senior Michael O'Hara doesn't start at wide receiver, but makes contributions wherever possible, including serving as quarterback for the scout team. Mike has also made the grade, following his interest in mathematics and engineering to rank second in the class.
I always set goals. I try to get like all A's, but I don't. But still, even if you set the high goals, like I said before, just if you just miss, you're still doing real well.
For their winning balance of athletics and academics, this high five goes to the Mount Carmel Caravan and their always enthusiastic fans. I'm Tom Scher for Great Expectations.
All right, Tom, thanks. By the way, did you ever go to high school?
Oh,
did you?
yeah.
I thought maybe just go from grammar school to Texas.
Just like those little kids there, you know. Set goals, work your little butt off to achieve them.
Well, what are your goals for the rest of the season, seriously?
Denver's next week. We're going to work hard to try to beat them.
I can't imagine what's gone wrong with that team. I mean, they had a lot of talent, and of course Elway's been hurt for 2 weeks, but, you know, they had more than Elway. They do. Their defense, remember they had this defense that was all finesse, a lot of skinny little guys, and they play a lot of zone. Then they beefed up and played great, and now they're coming apart at the seams. So.
I don't know. I have to watch film on them this week.
How much film do you guys have to watch? You go in Monday, you sit there for
we
hours.
We show up at 8:30, and it's till lunch anyway. We're watching film, going over the game plan of what we're going to do that week.
Well, it's nice to see you in person.
Yeah.
You know, you've been up in the plane, you've been out in the parking lot, you've been...
Oscar's glad to be here.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm sorry, yeah, that's his name.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Don't
for
worry.
Steve McMichael and Tom
Venom won't
Scher.
stain your hair.
Thank you. I'm Mark Giangreco. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay with us. Good night.